You already know I got my dream job. I ended up getting my dream guy. It wasn't the textbook perfect one. But that's not all. Back in 2005, I was meditating at my home in Annapolis, Maryland. Meditation is a great way for all parts of the brain to merge. My brain reached way back and it found a dream that I had stuffed away and thought I'd forgotten many years ago, and it brought it up and it gave it voice. And that dream was to live in France for a year. Wow. From the moment it landed there, my little logical engineering brain, it just kicked right in. You can't do that. You've got a great job. Your husband's got a great job. You have a mortgage. Did you forget the mortgage? You don't have the money to live in France. And what's the cat going to do? But I was lucky I had been practicing. And I knew there was a lot of practical issues that needed to be dealt with, but I also knew the wisdom of listening to the infotuitive voice inside. So I went to my sweet, darling husband, and I said, "Sweetie, we need to talk." Now, I have to tell you this. I was doing this program a few weeks ago, and there was a man right on the front row, and I said, "Sweetie, we need to talk." And he looked up at me, and he said, "Tomorrow?" "Sweetie, we need to talk." "Sweetie, darling, what would you think, honey, if maybe we moved to France for a year?" Crickets. Then he looked at me and he said, "Okay, let's do it." It took us 5 years to save the money. In 2010, we moved to France. That's why I have this book and 2 others on our travels in France. It's also why I have the Think Less, Live More book. I finished it while we lived in France. And it includes all the lessons this overthinker had to learn, because it was thinking less that got us to France, and it was thinking less that got me every dream job I have ever had. But that's not all. The government gave me a 1-year unpaid leave of absence. Holy cow! I got to come back to my dream job. I had been back for 2 weeks when the somatic markers started. Full-on anxiety attacks. My body did everything it could think of to communicate to me that I no longer fit there. It was time to move on to the next dream job. But this time I fought it. It wasn't logical. It wasn't rational. I needed the money. It took 18 months for me to find the courage to honor the infotuitive voice inside and to leave and start this business. And that's why I am so grateful to be here with you today, because see, for me, this is my next dream job, and here's why. Because of what this work means to you. When you learn to integrate information and intuition, it changes everything. It changes your leadership. It changes your life. Because you've probably figured it out. Some of the most complex decisions you make are in your personal life. Decisions about spouses and partners and kids and family and aging parents, and how are you going to balance work with kids and family and aging parents, and whether or not you're going to go out there and find the courage to live your dream. Those are complex decisions, and they do not lend themselves to cognitive processing alone. It is not enough to think and act. You have to think, feel, and act. Infotuition. You've got it. All you have to do is use it. I am Shelley Rowe, and I am a recovering overthinker. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you today. It's been my pleasure.